Destiny 2 is in a constant state of, we're so back. It's so over. We're so back. It's Jova. And I don't have much to add to the conversation of where it's gone wrong for Bungie. Incompetent leadership with a burning desire for nothing but to see the money go up, taking everything that you've earned from your cash cow and investing it into everywhere but your cash cow. A lack of insightfulness of what truly matters to players, and the inability to therefore address key problems that your main franchise is now faltering after the highest of highs it's ever had. My best wishes are still out for the employees of last year and this year's layoffs, and for those that do remain who leave everything on the table to give players a great video game to play, I still thank you for that. It was never the everyday dev's fault for Destiny's issues. It was always upper management, but like I say, I'm not here to talk about Bungie's future, whether it hinges on Marathon, etc, etc. I'm here to offer a different take. See, since the launch of episode 1, it's been nothing really but doom and gloom for Destiny. And I know it. I feel it. And you want to know why? I've not played since the end of Act 1 of episode 1. And I have little intention of playing till episode 3 at best. Yet Matt, this video is titled about optimism for the future of Destiny, but you're not even playing the game. My 2 cents is that Destiny 3 is what was needed. It was the only real answer, the truth be told. I could rant all day about the lack of foresight in not knowing that Destiny 3 is what would eventually be needed down the line, about how we crave a reset. Bungie needs time off working in a live environment, and well, now there's less staff on Destiny than ever as a result of the layoffs, and so here comes a change in Destiny. I think Destiny 2 will become a more enjoyable experience now as a result of its shift. Destiny 2 is the juggernaut of live service games, at least it was, and with that came a constant demand for content and engagement. For me, that's how we ended up with the copy and paste seasonal story quests. It's how loot has become so power crept. I simply have no intention of grinding to get new loot because why on earth would I compared to my 5,000 other guns in my vault? It's why expansions, apart from Lightfall, all ruled and why seasons were stale. It's too much, too consuming, too big. That in the pursuit for more, all it's done is just add more, not meaningfully. I'm excited for Destiny 2 to become smaller, less demanding, more innovative and less formulaic. I didn't come to Destiny 2 to run seasonal activity, talk to vendor. Go do quest, talk to vendor. See you next week. I came to Destiny to mystery, for the intrigue that I was so fascinated by the lore of this one gun Thorn and all these possibilities and what is really out there and who is out there and what it could all mean. Bungie always say it, but Destiny is at its best when it surprises, when it's mysterious. Trying to be that never-ending, always playing games means it can never ever be that. There's no doubt, obviously, that from all these changes, those most impacted are the Destiny-centric content creators. All good people, this change in content cadence and delivery is obviously a blow for them. Destiny is changing, and the amount of content that came for them to cover will be reduced, and that's tough for them for sure. But I'm going to be real, for the everyday player, I just can't shake the feeling that now I've taken a step back, that Destiny becoming smaller and a more focused experience is the best possible scenario outside of a Destiny 3. I believe that this change is a good thing. I really do believe that. So, let's talk about how it's all changing and how I've got to this opinion. Annual expansions are out. 2 expansions a year are in. Coming in 2025 is Codename Apollo and Codename Behemoth. Out are seasons, or what we call episodes now. In are 3 major updates. Out are raids. Nah, just kidding. Imagine. But no, 1 new raid a year and 1 new dungeon a year with raid and dungeon events promised, similar to Pantheon. I love the story and the lore behind Destiny. Playing Excision as the final part of the Final Shape campaign was emotional. It was magical. It really did feel fulfilling and satisfying as an end to a saga that I've been playing for so many years of my life. But it's true, like Bungie say, that these campaigns are brilliant, but they offer such little replay value and they're so rigid. You know what you're getting. With Codename Apollo, Bungie is trying a method of being non-linear with its storytelling. The jury will be out on this, and often with narratives in games, non-linear storytelling, like with Ubisoft, it can suck, it really can. But it can work. I, for one, am for the unconventional methods of trying to surprise us as players again. The campaigns, I loved them, but with a smaller team, it just doesn't seem like a good allocation of resources. And I like that they are doubling down on the fact that just because they're going for maybe like a roguelike or some non-linear storytelling or some Metroidvania kind of formula in the way they're going to tell these stories doesn't mean they're forsaking the lore and the story of the wider Destiny universe. When you are a long-running game, and in Destiny 2's case, over 7 years now, the last thing that you want to become is predictable. Because when you become predictable, you become boring. And I'm the example of that. I love Destiny. Like, if you look over my shoulder, you see the Destiny 1 tower that came in the final shape. You see a Thorn replica. I have so many memories playing Destiny. Just incredible ones that are some of the best gaming memories I own. But I got to the end of Act 1 and I just felt pure apathy. Just nothing. Destiny has to become mysterious again with its secrets. Destiny's greatest asset is its community. Not the dickheads calling you a fake warlock because you did one bad warlock build and you didn't understand how stats worked for the first time, and you like lightning, but whatever. But Destiny's community is working together to solve puzzles, figuring out raids for the first time. The raids races, though not being all secretive and blocking our screens, what are we, 5? It's at its best when the community is together, when the community is asking the questions about why something is the way it is, what's out there, what is this larger threat, and where's the TWAB? The other aspect that excites me is the idea that it's just not relentlessly pursuing my time all the time. Other than content creators and those that are just purely locked in, I think most people enjoy the best of Destiny when they have good regular breaks from the game. Seriously, when I've took a break from Destiny and then came back, it's like, yeah, this rules. But when the game is so demanding of your time all the time, nah, I think that's how we get to these stages of burnout and apathy. But you may say, they're doubling the expansion, so they're asking for more of it. But these are medium-sized expansions and seasons being pretty much demolished. That excites me a lot more. It excites me because they have to give me a reason to play, rather than a rule because otherwise you miss the story and the content. There's still aspects of seasons like activities, rewards, balances, etc. But I just can't imagine it being as formulaic, and that's a good thing. Having one new raid and one new dungeon a year, as well as following up with Pantheon-like activities, is also a good thing. Those are some of the best. In fact, I would always go as far to say that raids in Destiny are some of the best content in video games, period. That feeling of challenge, teamwork, communication, mechanics, when it all fits together, it is magical. I understand people will be disappointed by just one of each, but they're a smaller team, and as long as quality is maintained, I'm personally okay with it. It's still a case of wait and see though, like we need to look at the price point, the content, and the quality of it. But stuff like combat modifiers that's coming, there's a lot of interesting stuff for sure. The next thing that I want to mention that is literally killing the game from Bungie's side, people stop playing games all the time. It is normal. The problem for Destiny is that when a player leaves, I can't imagine a line of players entering because the onboarding flat out sucks. I got one of my best mates into Destiny before Lightfall struck. I know, how unfortunate. But getting to re-experience so many activities like raids and dungeons for the first time through his lens was reinvigorating. It was exciting because it was like looking at that content with a fresh pair of eyes. And no matter what, someone might say to you, I want to get into Destiny. I can never ever recommend it in good faith unless I'm going to be there for every step of their journey because the onboarding is just flat out awful. I think this was something that was always known at Bungie, and higher ups probably said, waste of resources, blah blah blah, because they're so incompetent. Anyway, since Destiny 3 ain't happening for years at best now, if it even ever does, they have to fix this. They have to fix this. They have to make it a possibility for people to enter this universe. Player counts by Destiny standards are very low right now because people have just got to a fulfilling end of saga experience. What a way to end it. What a way to bow out. And for people who hear that, they may be like, ooh, you know what, maybe I'll give it a shot and try to get to this end of saga experience. And then they're overwhelmed and then they're gone. If Destiny is to thrive, a new onboarding and simplified systems is non-negotiable. So I'm excited for non-linear storytelling, dungeon keys being binned, modernising UI and onboarding, 2 medium expansions a year, traditional seasons going, and a new saga beginning. Optimistic, but here's where I'm not. The core loop of Destiny. We are so insanely powerful now. And you might be like, oh, well, why don't you go and run a Grandmaster blindfolded with one arm tied behind your back with just one sidearm? No, it's not about that. Not really. It's that making things challenging, they have to either hit really hard or they just have to be a plethora of enemies, man. On the flip side, sure you can grind out another rocket sidearm for a 2% damage bonus, yeah. No, this is where I'm concerned personally. Abilities and weapons are so fun, but too powerful now, and that no matter what I'm doing other than raids or nightfalls or the most challenging content, I have my builds, and they don't fail me, and it's mindless. That can be okay for sure, but it kills my pursuit, and therefore my playtime, and therefore my engagement with the game. For example, the coil was a truly excellent activity. I loved running it with people. But I barely ever ran it because the pursuit behind what was in the coil didn't really do anything for me. So despite how excellent an activity may be, if the core loop of Destiny isn't fulfilling right now for small little incremental bonuses, got a major problem. Like, some loot of it was okay, but I've got my Buried Bloodline build now, and that will carry me wherever I need to go. Or Indebted Kindness, blah blah blah, you get it. A good pursuit is not pinnacle grinds either. This to me is where the reset of a Destiny 3 was so very much needed, because I send prayers daily to that sandbox team to balance everything in PvE, let alone PvP. An ability reset, a weapon reset, is what was needed to regain that pursuit. And you may say, why do you want to grind everything out again when you've just done it for years? And well, my friend, Destiny 2 is a looter shooter where the loot right now is uninspiring. And this will be my sticking point as to whether, long term, Destiny 2 can retain my interest. That when I come back for its bi-yearly expansion, I stick around, or once again, I feel that apathy. Ultimately, I think there's multiple good moves being made here by Bungie. No more dungeon keys is good. Raid and dungeon activities is good. A new saga is exciting. Modernising the UI is good. The jury is still out whether non-linear storytelling will work, whether 2 medium-sized expansion a year will be fulfilling and worthwhile, whether the core loop will remain worth grinding and pursuing, and finally, whether Pete Parsons and his incompetent exec team are able to not fuck up anyone else's livelihood. I think a Destiny 2 that is less demanding of a player's time, that allows breaks and breathing room, that narrows its scope to become more mysterious and less predictable, is the course corrector that Destiny 2 needs in a world where Destiny 3 has never existed. It is a game of wait and see, but as always with Bungie, I'm tired of this being the case for the day-to-day devs. That when their back's against the wall, they always seem to deliver. Anyway, that's just my thoughts on the future of Destiny 2. Do you agree? Are you positive? Are you optimistic in the way I am? Are you pessimistic? What are the features that are coming with these expansions that excites you most? And what are the things that you're pessimistic about? What are you not feeling yet or you have your questions on? I'd love to talk with you in the comments down below. I'd really love to hear from you on this one. Just keep it civil, yeah. If you enjoyed hearing my thoughts, dropping a like would be appreciated. And hey, if you enjoy sci-fi games, comic book games, ultimately, I just enjoy talking about what I love and I'm passionate about on this channel. And Destiny is one of those, despite how I do feel about it right now. So if you're after more of that, maybe consider subscribing. I'd appreciate you sticking around. All my socials will be linked in the description down below. So if you have anything else for me, you can get at me down there. Otherwise, I hope you have a terrific day. Play games, get gains, and I'll catch you next one.